Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Lee. This is JLeesCorner. This is my late review. Okay, put a ring on it. Season 1, episode 2. I know it came on Friday, and y'all just basically seen this on Monday because it's 1 a.m. But honey, I just been tired. But if you have not done so already, please come over to subscribe to my channel and become a whole JayBird, dun 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 dun, and all that goodness and stuff. Okay, do not forget to also always remember to breathe in all night. I have been doing that all weekend. To inhale and to exhale. To always center yourself and everyone around you, to relax and to relate and to release it all. Okay, you can also follow me on IG and on Twitter at Jays_Lees_Corner. And you can also like this. Did I already say like the video, comment in the comment section, and share it? I don't know, but y'all know, same old thing I say every single video. Okay, let's move on. So we see this week the men are going on dates. Okay, we have Shane, Michael, Ashley in Hollywood, and Mimi and Ulysses. I may still be saying that man's name wrong, but it's gonna be what's gonna be. So we see, Ashley in Hollywood, okay, who we know have been dating for 2 years. Ashley brings up how Hollywood actually told her after proposing to her that he wanted to date other people. So for her, she wants him to go out and have his wish and date other people, okay? Now Hollywood then said, well, I told her that because I was scared. I was scared, so I wanted to push her away. And that's the only reason I said that. I'm like, you can't tell your fiance you want to date other people because you're scared. That means we should not be together, okay? Because that's some bullshit if I ever saw it. Now, as far as with Shay and Michael, now Shay say she worried that Michael may like dating other people, but she also wants him to have this experience. I'm looking like, girl, why? Her whole thing is, I would marry him on any day of the week. I just want to marry him and him only. I would marry him at any time. And his response after she said that, sitting right next to him, was, I don't think we need marriage, okay, but I will be with her forever. And I'm looking like, who says shit like, bruh? Look, we're gonna get to that a little bit later. We're gonna leave that be. But we also see, Ulysses, the little girl, Ulysses or whatever, and Mimi. Now, Dr. Nicole tells them both that due to her father's health concerns, that, he will not be going on a date. Because right now, they need to focus on each other. And I'm like, then why are they on the show about dating other people if they can't date other people? Anyway, we then see Mimi gets a call from the doctor, okay? And it's her and her sister Nicole on the phone with the doctor. And the doctor is explaining to them, just like he did on the last episode, like, we really should do a DNR, which is do not resuscitate. But if you do not want to do that, can we at least make the decision to no longer do CPR, okay? Because your father's older, and doing CPR will be painful for him because, press on his chest will end up cracking his ribs, and even shocking him will also be painful. And so the sister and Mimi then talk without the doctor on the phone, and the sister, who is in whatever city that the father lives in, explains to Mimi, like, I know it's hard, but we have to come, to grip that, within a couple of weeks that daddy, probably won't be here. We have to get to understand that, and I know you saw him on the iPad, but to see him in person, and she's crying as she's saying it, she's like, seeing him in person, he's so frail and so little. And I think her thing is, when the doctor said, like, CPR, pressing on his chest will crack his ribs, her point was, you don't get how sickly and how small and how frail he is and how painful that must be for him to keep having to have that happen. So, we need to, do something about that. So Mimi, like, okay, that wasn't a call that she was ready for. And she just like, I don't know what to do. We do see her and Ulysses sit and talk a little bit, but he like, I'm finna go drink. He don't even want to sit and have the conversation. He goes outside to have a drink. And for her, she's like, him leaving me here, is a disappointment because I feel like he needs to be my strength in these weak moments. And it's true. His thing is, he's my father too. He's my best friend too. So I'm also hurting. But you can't go outside to her alone and leave her in here alone. You have to be the man and the strength in this situation, because at the end of the day, you may have come to love her father for the past 6 years that you've known her, but that man, but her dated her whole life. So it's a, help her through this, even when you are in pain too. I'm gonna leave that be. Now we do see Dr. Nicole comes by to talk to them and everything, and she tells Mimi that, this is a very tough thing to deal with or whatever, and you need to be with your sister, person to person to make this decision. And we then find out they're leaving the show. And I said, okay, it makes sense. Now we then see the show continues on, and Shay and Michael gets a visit from Dr. Nicole for a little one-on-one. And Michael said how he prefers a one-on-one because for him, at times, it's hard to fully express himself or express himself, okay, in the group setting. And I can get that because sometimes you don't want to say everything in front of everyone, okay? Now, she say how, when they talked about, not she, but Shay says how when her and him talk about the relationship, like on a conversation level between them two, you know what I'm saying, he makes it seem as if, like, if they break up, he'll be over it within like a day. And it's like, it just makes me feel like he doesn't care about, our relationship or whatever. And he's not, he's not all in. If he can tell me that if we break up, he'll be over it in a day or whatever. And he like, I just don't get emotional about stuff or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I, just growing up, I never connected that well with people because I felt like people can and will leave. So I've always put myself in a box that, you know what I'm saying, it's okay. I can be okay if someone leave me because usually they do. Now that can come from a family member leaving him or girlfriends or whatever, but for some reason from childhood, people have left him to where he had to protect himself, because sometimes if you don't realize that it's okay when something is over, it will make you go crazy and you can't function in life. So he like, I just have to be okay with that. Now Dr. Nicole, like, well, what he's saying, Shay, is that he has some baggage from his past. Like, that's what he's basically saying to you. Now, he then brings up a point that we did not know. And I wish I knew the last episode without giving him grief. He say this is their third time dating. Okay, the third time that they have dated. He said the first two times they were dating, she had feelings for another man and left him. The first time she left, and the second time she left, both times she ghosted him. Meaning, we were in a relationship, you had feelings for someone else, you then left me and never talked to me. You ghosted me both times, whatever. She then say, oh, well, and you still think about that? And I'm like, bitch, yes, he is. If you have ghosted and left that man twice, that's why he's telling you now, if you leave me again, I will be over it in a day, because I've already had to do that 2 times before. I feel like she made it seem as if he's this is it unemotional or emotionless? He's this emotionless person who doesn't give her love and affection, and he just so okay if they not together. I'm like, well, what she failed to say was, because I left him twice and ghosted him. Like, I just out the blue was gone and didn't say nothing or whatever. And I'm like, that is not, and I like how Dr. Nicole was like, are you really shocked that he, still thinks about that? Like, you know what you did, right? She's like, well, yeah, but I just thought that we can get back together and things will be great. I'm like, okay, that to me shows like she isn't ready for marriage. She just wants to be married. She does not even want to be held accountable for what she did to him, to put him in a space to not trust her ass to be his wife, because you left him twice, okay? She said how he never showed me that he was hurt from that. I'm like, girl, and Michael said, I just wish she would take some accountability for that, you know what I'm saying? And she just kind of won't or whatever. And then I love how Dr. Nicole said to Shay, like, you can't want him to be affected by things now. You can't want him to have feelings now when you didn't want him to be affected before, when you left him. You know what I'm saying? You helped him establish not caring when you left because you kept leaving. And I'm like, well, that's true, okay? So meaning he's okay with you leaving now because you've done it before. And she said, oh, okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So when can we move forward, past this? And Dr. Nicole said, Once he feels that, he can trust you because what you did hasn't been corrected yet. Meaning you left and you haven't even acknowledged it. You haven't even corrected your behavior yet. You just want to move past it as if it didn't even happen. I'm like, see, I called Michael all kind of assholes last time, and it wasn't him that's the asshole. It was Shay ass. Girl, bye. That doesn't mean that he should act like an asshole all the time, but I now get why he acts so, okay. If you gonna leave, okay. Because you've done it before. Twice. Girl, bye. Anyway, we then see Hollywood. Hollywood goes on his date. And his date's name is Brencia. I don't like the baseline of Brencia's wig. I think it's so weird when people have a wig or a weave that starts so far back on their head that we see their real edges or whatever, and it just don't. It looks like a somebody put a hat on her head. I don't like it. Anyway, so, Hollywood see her and to me, he was too excited as a man who's been in a relationship with his woman for 9 years or whatever. So they sit and chit chat on their date and whatnot. And, he brings up how, he said, I feel like if I can make a connection with someone else, that really means that I'm not ready for marriage, because if I'm ready for marriage, I should not be able to have a connection with someone and have feelings for someone. I say, you know what? That's true, but also false. You are actively dating someone, and it's really easy once you open yourself up to dating someone. That's how you open yourself up to feelings. Okay, any married person don't have feelings for someone else because they're not dating nobody else. But I'm gonna leave that being and whatnot. Now, she said how she was very attracted to him because he's very cute, he has a nice body and a great smile. And they chit chat over some food and whatnot, and they pray over the food and everything too. And I do feel like, again, they both liked each other, but it was a sexual connection. Hollywood exudes sex energy. He do. Like, he just does. However, I'm like, they had it more of a sexual thing than, maybe we can date thing or whatever. And when Brencia brings up how, I love intimacy, okay, and I love sex, but I want to be married, to give some man all my sex. Now, I don't think she means she a virgin. I think she want to say, you know what, you want to get married to put a ring on it? I want to get married too. Girl, bye. He said it was a good date. And he know he still got it going on because, again, I guess of how much she laughed and how much she enjoyed their date. I'm not, you got a whole girl at home, cut it out. Okay, who has her real hair? And not Brancy. Anyway, I'll move on for that. So we then see Michael. Michael's date name is Riley. Okay, and Riley say she's wife material because she's loving, caring, and nurturing. I'm like, but so are dogs sometimes. I feel like those are characteristics you give an animal that loves their, their owner or whatever. I feel like being loving and caring and nurturing is a baseline. It's a basic level of I'm ready for to be a wife. I'm like, it takes more than that to be a wife, but I'm gonna leave that be too. Now Michael see Riley, and he says she's attractive and everything, and how he loves who can rock short hair and have confidence with it and everything. And they date was at a hookah lounge. That's why they dress like that and whatnot. I liked her outfit. I did. Now, I mean, at first I thought she looked young, but I like her outfit and whatnot. They both chit chat. To me it did feel like a little romantic date and whatnot. But they both say how they not looking to rush into marriage. Like, they want marriage eventually, okay? But they, want to take their time with the whole relationship because they both want to do the whole marriage thing one time with only the right person. And I felt like this date was not romantic at all. I felt like it was his first step out to the pond of, can I at least have a good time with someone besides my leaving ass Shay? Okay, and I'm like, that's cool. So we then see Hollywood. Hollywood gets home from his date, and Ashley like, okay, so how did it go, whatever, what happened? He like, I didn't kiss her, I didn't feel on her booty or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He said he was doing that to let Ashley know that he wasn't out here being all frisky, because he said she know he like, he a little frisk monster or whatever. I'm like, but you should only be frisky with her. Like, I would, if my boyfriend ain't like feeling on my booty, I would not expect him to go on a first date with anybody and feel on there, because that ain't your woman. I'm like, what's going on here? He do bring up how old girl was attractive. She was cool and she was pretty. He said, but it wasn't like when I saw you and knew I wanted to have you. She's like, well, first of all, you know what I'm saying, don't compare me to her. You know, that's okay. But, you know, it saddens me that I'm kind of okay with the fact that you went on a date, and I'm okay with the fact that you had a good time. And she said, it just makes me feel like there's some damage to our connection, our bond. Like, how am I okay with this? Now, when she said that, okay, he then got upset because he felt like when she went on her date, he was upset with it. So how can you then tell me that you kind of don't care? I'm out here with somebody else. How can you do that or whatever? And he get kind of upset. You know what I'm saying? He brings up, well, I told you that at the end of this whole thing or whatever, we either gonna be together or we not. And she's like, well, first of all, you know, stop puffing up at me. Like, don't puff up. And I'm like, that's a cute. That's a New Orleans thing or whatever. Like, meaning don't get big bad. You know what I'm saying? Want to huff and puff and blow my house down. Like, calm down or whatever. And he's like, I'm not puffing up. I'm giving you me. I'm like, I feel like you puffing up, and I don't even know what that really means. Okay, you seem real puff to me. Okay, and he said, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, when I go on my next date, I'm going to be more relaxed, and I'm not going to feel like I'm cheating. You know what I'm saying? I may kiss her, I may feel on her booty. I'm looking like, don't do that. And that's just being extra. Okay, extra too much. And I like how she told him, like, I need to be able to express myself to you without you flipping out or puffing up on me, because, you know, that's gonna make me not want to be honest with you. And I'm like, Hollywood need to sit down some damn where and quit acting like a little child. Okay, he act like when she says something he don't like, he has to, as she said, puff up, and then it's a whole issue and whatnot. So we then have all the couples come together. Well, now it's just the two couples. Again, she lets them know that Ulysses and Mimi have left the show due to her father's his health situation and whatnot. And we then see each guy saying what happened. So Hollywood, you know what I'm saying, say about his date, like, you know, I wore a fresh pair of drawers, I was a fresh pack or whatever, you know what I'm saying. I liked that she was spiritual like me, she was attractive, and she listened to me, you know what I'm saying, and I feel like, you know what I'm saying, she said she was a very sexual person, and so am I. I love sex, and sometimes Ashley, you know, don't like to match my sex drive, mainly because she don't want to give me all her milk because I ain't bought the cow. And I say, well, I mean, that's the thing. But I feel like after 9 years, give him some cooch. Like, I feel like, you know, if you know your dude has a high sex drive, depriving him of that could cause more issue later on down the line. Okay, but I'm going to leave it at that. Anyway, you know, she brings up how she felt weird because she was okay with him going on a date. And so again, she thinks that means that there's some kind of damage in their connection. And Dr. Nicole said something that I've never thought about, and I said it makes complete sense. She said, you know, when you are younger, you are more about controlling everything. So you feel everything, and there's always some kind of reaction. But as you get older, you start to figure out what your needs are. And so you unplug certain wires that usually will create a certain reaction. You do that to avoid getting hurt over something, you know, or another. She says, so, you know, at some point you don't have a full reading of what's going on or how you feel because you've unplugged some wires. And I was like, damn, that makes so much sense. It's kind of crazy. I said, okay, come on, Dr. Nicole, or whatnot. So we then see Michael discuss his little date and whatnot, okay? And he say, like, my date was cool. She was a beautiful woman, had a nice body, had a beautiful smile, and she had a real calm energy that made me feel like if we got like an argument or whatever, we would be able to have a good discussion about whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? She was very thoughtful. And then Shay kind of got upset, or jealous, you know what I'm saying, of him being so positive about his dating and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And she said, I was worried because, you know what I'm saying, he was on the day, it was a long day, like, I felt like damn, is you gonna go spend the night, like, why you not back home by now? She said, but I had to keep reminding myself that, he wasn't going to leave me over one date. And I'm like, what? What kind of self-esteem does Shay have to feel like the man who she's on here, who she wants to marry her, would leave her over one date with a stranger? Girl. Anyway, she brings up how, that was just her fear and whatnot. So he said, well, like, she always does that. Like, whenever we get to, like, a little argument or whatnot, she brings up, like, are you going to leave me? And I'm like, I would not want to be with someone whenever we fight feels like they have to ask me, am I going to leave them? I mean, if you keep asking me, I might. Stop, put a thought in my head, okay? But, she brings up, well, I just wish he didn't like the date so much. I'm saying he's too smitten with her for me. I'm saying he just needs to just kind of calm down or whatever, or he can go do him. So now she just on her feelings. And I feel like, but you left that man twice, gonna leave it be. I think maybe because she so easily left him, she feels as if he can just so easily also leave her. So she's putting forth her feelings onto him. I'm gonna leave that be. Now she asked them both, like, do you both want to go on second dates with these women? Okay, and they both say no. And they both kind of had the same reason of, there wasn't a spark to make them want to have a second date. And I'm like, well, I guess so. So she brings up how she told them both couples to address an issue from their past that, they want to work on, to move past and everything. So Shay and Michael, okay, and I like getting different pictures of them because I'm like, I want to just do that. Anyway, Michael say, like, for him, he's not an emotional person, okay, because he was raised to not be emotional. But her ghosting him pushed him even further into not being emotional with her and to keep his wall up. And she said how she realized, with me not acknowledging his feelings, is something that was holding us back. So I'm working on that so that we can move past it or whatever. Okay, and I'm like, well, that's a good thing. But she also brings up how I just don't want him overreacting to the pain I caused him. And what she meant was, I don't want him forever harping on this. Like, he needs to move past it because he's making it seem like it's more than what it was. And Dr. Nicole was like, well, if you step on my foot, who gets to say when my foot stops hurting? Meaning, you stepped on my heart. Okay, you trust the trust I had in you. So you can't tell me when that pain that you caused me has stopped hurting in me. But Shay said, well, I feel like, well, you have the choice, to say when the foot stops hurting, but also the doctor. If the doctor say your foot is, is no longer in pain, like, you can't still say that it hurts. I'm looking like that. Yes, you can. Because even the doctor don't know how you feel. But I'm going to leave that be. And Michael said, like, Shay's very dismissive. And, she helped create a problem in me, not wanting, it to get too deep on her. Wait, what did he say? Oh, no. He said she helped create the problem of me not wanting to get that deep with her. But she wants me to move past it, even if she hasn't fixed that issue. And, Dr. Nicole said, like, well, first of all, he won't trust that you won't do it again until you fully accept that you did it. And she kind of has not fully, she hasn't. Like, she say, well, I left. But, we can move past that. Well, no, we can't, because you just not saying, yes, I left. And then with Hollywood and Ashley, I said last time, I'm going to repeat this again. There's a toxic energy in Hollywood that I do not like. As attractive as he is, as good as his body is, as big as he says his dick is, there is something within him that I do not like. I don't know if it's his attitude or whatever it may be, but something in him is just negative energy when he's mad. And she said for her, as he says, her issue is that he proposed to her. He proposed her, then called off the wedding. And that's, is an issue for her. He say, well, but I've been trying for years, to make up for it. If it's been years and you still waiting or whatever, to feel, okay with me, we should just be cool, be friends, and not try to get married. Now, while I agree with that notion, at the same time, him saying, I'm just tired of waiting. And I said, that's where I had a problem, because she then made all the best points. She's like, I was also tired of waiting. I was tired of waiting for you to be ready. Okay, that's what I was. And at the end of the day, when I was ready, you weren't ready, and you wanted me to sit in it and wait for you to be ready to want to get married. And now I need you to sit in that I'm not ready. The same, you know, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You can't want me to accept when you weren't ready, but you can accept now that I'm not ready. Okay, now my girl, let them know. Let them know. And she brought up how, you know, I'm not going to go through the pain I went through having to sit and wait for you to be ready. I'm going to protect myself and not rush it now. And, you know, he then puffed up, got all mad, got an attitude like, we can leave right now. You know, I don't need this. I'm tired of it. I'm like, what? For him to sit there and say, I don't need this. I'm tired of waiting too. We can leave right now. I'm looking like, oh, so y'all don't have to be together. You can leave this whole process because she's expressing how she feels. And then Dr. Nicole kind of like, okay, hold on, calm down. I'm saying you have to get that your words have life, Hollywood, because you saying how you saw a life with her or whatever and how it doesn't matter. It makes her feel like it's not safe for her to be so trusting and for her to let herself go in this relationship. Like, you speak in anger and it's going in reverse of what you're trying to make it do. Meaning you want to move forward, but your anger helps everything either be put on pause or it goes backwards. And I like how she said a man protects the temperature in his house. Meaning you can't get hot at whatever moment, because that changes everything going on. Like, your temper and your temperament is an issue because you keep just being it's team too much or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all fussing because you got a fucking attitude, bruh. Calm down, okay? And then he said, well, you know, will she be having all that extra lip, whatever, or the ad lib? I don't want to hear it. I'm like, what? You don't want her to express herself because you don't want to hear it. And she like, well, she may not want to hear what you say either. And you have to sometimes sit in that. And even though as Dr. Nicole is kind of scolding Hollywood, and then you have Athy on the sideline, like, you know, saying little stuff, making little faces or whatever. Dr. Nicole, you know, you don't make it no better if while I'm trying to help him watch his temper, that you don't realize that you have to also control your mouth. Because while he's so puffed up, you going at him isn't helping him puff down. Again, girl, it was crazy. And we found out the next week it'll be a new couple. But that was the whole episode, and I'm done. Girl, that was a lot. I'm done. Love you all.